Hey guys, welcome back to Sweet Creek Thrift. If you're new here, my name is Candi, and today I have week 4 of the month of July sales. I do reselling part-time on apps like Poshmark and Ebay, and so I am going to share with you all the items that sold, and then what my month end ended up being, which was really great to see how much I earned for the month of July. And so I try to keep this a real time and see if it helps anybody else out there, because these kind of videos that I like to watch. And so I think it personally does help you when you're at a thrift store, if you see something, or even if you just have it in your own home that you can resell to make a little extra money. And I do this to make extra money for bills, household things that come up, like our water heater went out our bathroom water heater did go out, but also our primary water heater because we have one of those instant hots in our master bathroom, and our house is pretty big, so we have a whole different system on the other side of the house, and the other one went out too, so we're trying to navigate through all of that. But the other water heater, we did put in an instant hot for the main part of the house. So but yeah, things like that, unexpected expenses and stuff that come up, so it's really nice to have reselling income as a backup for when that kind of stuff happens. Okay, so I'm gonna get right into it, and I'm gonna share with you all the items, where I got it from, how much I paid for it, if I paid for it, and when I posted it, how long it took to sell, that kind of good stuff, and of course how much I earned. This first item is an Intel Core i5 processor basically, and I just have 2 pictures of it. This item my husband gave me. It came out of a computer because he's building new computers, so he kind of scrapped some old stuff. This came out of a different computer that we're no longer using, and he said just go ahead and sell it because it still works just fine. So I did post it on July 12th on eBay only, and it sold on July 24th, so it just took a little bit of time. Wasn't not a big sale. It was a sales price of $8.99. There's a lot of these on the market, and they're right around that $8 to $10 mark per processor. So I didn't earn a lot from this one, but I did earn $7.48. And then the next item is a Nike Golf Men's XL Dry Fit Long Sleeve Polo Shirt. And I put black, gray stripes and performance. And it has the little embroidered logo down on the wrist area. And yeah, it was really nice. Really nice condition top. So this item I picked up at Goodwill March 5th of this year. I paid $4. And I posted it on March 27th to Poshmark and Ebay, and it sold on eBay July 24th for $20, and that gave me a profit of $12. And that would be after the cost of the cost of goods item. I paid $4. So, and of course the fees that they charge for the platform. And then the next item, there's going to be several. This month has been a lot of computer parts, games, things that my husband's trying to sort through as he's building the new computers. He's already got his working, but he's still gonna update some parts that he still has on there, and he's working on building mine next. So we have already got mine is half built approximately, so we still have several parts to still buy, and then hopefully I'll have a newer computer that will be I will have a newer computer that will be a lot faster and easier to do videos and stuff on. So this one is a Crucial branded 16 gigabyte DDR4 memory RAM stick. So that's basically what it looks like. And this item again came out of another computer, and I posted it on eBay only on June 18th. It sold July 24th, and this one sold for $34.99. I made a profit of $31.42. And a lot of the computer parts, the money, I say I made a profit. We made a profit. My husband ended up getting some of that money back for more computer parts. So, but basically I made a profit. The next item is Corral Black Snake Inlay Leather Square Toe Western Cowgirl Boot size 8. And this was a really cool find. I was really excited to get it, to get this item and get it listed. I do want to like do more research on like cowgirl boots, cowboy boots, just so I know like more styles and things to look out for when I'm when I'm at the store, because I do live in Texas and I do find a lot of boots, but I have a hard time picking them up, not knowing for sure. I do try to comp in the store, but I just really need to do more like research and figure that out. But this one I kind of already had a good idea just from looking at them, and it was from the Goodwill when they had their grand opening. It was like the first item I picked up. I went straight to shoes and I was looking and I saw them and they looked beautiful and I was like, I'm gonna grab those. I saw the Corral brand, so I kind of thought they might be worth it, and then I looked them up while I was at the store. But I paid $22.67. Posted this pair on April 3rd on Poshmark and Ebay. It sold on eBay on July 24th for $112. And so they actually paid because it was out of the country. I think it went to Canada. And their shipping was $49. So I actually paid plus shipping and all of like whatever. I don't think they had a fee, but plus shipping and everything, it came out to that they paid $167.47 for the item. So like the purchase price was $114, and then my fees that eBay took was $16.47, and then my cost of goods being $22.67. So that brought my net profit down to $79.33. But that was still a pretty good flip in my opinion. I'm really happy about that one, and I think I will be on the lookout for Corral boots that are really nice. And so it did take, from March, April, May, June, July. So it took about 4 months to sell, but that's not bad. And I did get a good return on my investment, as they say. The next item is this Hogwarts Legacy Deluxe Edition, Destiny 2, and the Elder Scrolls Xbox games, Xbox One S games. And plus the like case that it's like a hard shell that holds the remote when you're traveling. So I put them all together and just like as a bundle deal. Now this came because my husband's no longer got an Xbox. He switched from Xbox to PlayStation, and now he's switching from PlayStation to PC. Or he already did. So we've been selling off all of our all of those sort of items. So again, I had zero invested because I did not go source this item. I posted it January 16th of 25 this year on eBay only, and it sold on July 24th. So it did take a while to sell, but it did sell. Let me get a drink. I just had a tickle in my throat. Me and my Dutch Bros cup. You'll get to see in a new upcoming thrift haul video. I did find another one of these exact cups, which I think I paid because I bought it on their website when they did a merch drop, and it was like last Christmas. I think it's from last Christmas time. But I love that it has like all the stickers, like the style of it being all the stickers that they, because I'm a Dutch Bros sticker fanatic, which I've shared with you guys before. I don't have them all. I wish I did, but I do have a lot of Dutch Bros stickers, and I actually have a water bottle, but it's like out in the kitchen, that has all the Mother's Day stickers on it from like the last 5 years. So, or 6 years, something like that. But, I use that water bottle all the time when I'm in the car. But anyways, I'm getting distracted, but that was because I have like clearing issues from my sinuses right now. So anyways, sorry. But anyways, so this item sold for $42.49 for that little lot of games and stuff. So the profit was $36.19. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. Pretty good sale. And then this one, my husband and I were actually consistently playing. Well, I like this game a lot. We played it a long time ago when we were first married. I think on the PlayStation 2 probably. And then when we got the PlayStation 4s about a year ago, he had picked up Oh, my daughter just said, I miss you, with this crying face. She went to college. We took her last weekend. So we picked this item up because we really wanted to play it again. And so I was having fun with it, but my husband, it kind of bored him a little bit. So sadly, and we switched off PlayStation, so we're no longer using it, but it's a fun game. Kind of reminds me of Mario Kart in a way. It's got a lot of like little racing and cute characters. So anyways, this item, I had $0 invested in it, and I posted it on July 12th, and it sold July 25th, and it sold for $11.69. So I made a profit of $9.08, or at least I made it back because we had bought it recently, but not to resell. The next item is Holly Pick Swim Women's 22W Tropical Hawaiian Sunset Palm Tree Swim Top. And it was new with tags. I really liked the colors and the print, like just the pattern. I liked that the back had this like unique, like the flare looking back, which is pretty cool. I did find on the size chart on their website, so I added that in my little photo area. So this item I actually picked up a while back. I picked it up at Goodwill on November 10th of 2023, and I only had $1 invested. So I don't know, I think it was like half price. I'm not sure why it was only $1, but it was at a retail shop. So, and it was down in Houston, I'm pretty sure. And so, but I did pick it up way back then. I posted it on November 23rd of 23 to Poshmark, and then I added it to eBay on September 17th of 24. So it took less time on eBay. It never sold on Poshmark. It sold on eBay on July 25th. So it was less than a year on eBay, but it had never sold on Poshmark. So, and it sold for $16.99. So I did get a profit of $12.73. And then the next item is this Jeep logo light up hitch cover that came off of our old Jeep that we no longer have. And so I went ahead and sold it. I actually had this item sitting around for a really long time before I posted it. It was sitting in a box, and I finally pulled it out one day, and I'm like, I'm going to go through all this stuff. I'm going to get it all posted. I'm just going to do it. And so I did get that posted. I had $0 invested again because it was an item that was around our house. And I posted it on May 30th of this year, 25 on eBay only. It sold July 26th for $22.49. And I earned a profit of $18.29. And then the next item is this Calvin Klein straw small purse clutch. And I put removable strap, gold accents, and logo on here. And it was really cute. It was definitely a great one for like summertime, spring, summer. It just gives that vibes. And actually going into the fall season, it would be a good one too. And actually I could see it being winter, but to me, the straw is just more of like a summer thing, you know, kind of reminds you of like going on a picnic type, or to a tea party or something. But yeah, but it was really cute. And I found this item at, I don't know if I showed a lot. There's the inside straps. Yeah, there's a little bit of a cracking, not too bad though. It was really good condition overall. And so that item I got at Goodwill on June 1st of 24. So I've had it for over a year. I paid $6.29, posted it June 13th last year of 24 to Poshmark and eBay. It sold on Poshmark on July 26th, and it sold for $25. So I earned $13.71. The next item is this Adriana Papel tunic top, women's plus 1X, and I put hearts, Valentine's Day, pink, black, and so yeah. And so it was with tags, although the tag was kind of like melted a little bit. I'll show you in a minute. But I really like this tunic top. It was like, you know, I like pink, so I really like the color. It kind of matches the walls in my office now, which is kind of cool. But yeah, you can see that it was new with tags, but the tag was like all messed up. I'm not really sure why. And then I think that it was just like, maybe because it went from store to store, it probably got thrown on a floor somewhere. But I didn't want to wash it, but it did have like right here, you can see like, you know, like when it gets thrown on the floor and it gets a little bit of smudges from dirt. So I was hoping, and I disclosed that. I said most likely if you take, go wash it, it'll come out, but I don't know because I don't know what it is exactly. But I did disclose that information, and so it did take a really long time to sell, but it finally sold. I did get it at the Goodwill bins, so that could be why it is the way it is. But I picked it up on November 10th of 23. I had $1.27, which was the average cost per item. So $1.27 invested. I posted it on December 9th of 23 on Poshmark and eBay, and it finally sold on Poshmark July 26th, and it sold for $17. I was very happy to get that offer, and I took it, and I made a profit of $12.33. And then the next item is pretty funny because it's exactly the same numbers, the same everything except for the date I posted it. So Life is Beautiful open asymmetrical vest shrug, and I put blue, brown, white, zigzag, and women's, of course. And it was just this like draped kind of like open front vest, just really nice. And it was new with tags, so I picked it up for that reason, I think. Back when I first started reselling, I don't know that I would pick this item up anymore, but I did. And so I had picked it up at the Goodwill bins. It was also extremely lightweight, so it was a way that I was able to lower my average cost per good. And it did sell, so it just took a while. So sometimes like things like this is why I might still pick it up if I'm at the bins. But if I was at like Goodwill retail or any of the other thrift stores and I saw it for $4, $5, $6, I would definitely not pick it up. So I only had $1.27 per item. Again, same exactly as the last shirt. I posted this one on Poshmark only and never got posted onto eBay. I posted it on November 27th of 23, and it finally sold July 27th of 25 on Poshmark, again for $17. And so because the same cost of goods, it was the same profit of $12.33. So this is why I like picking stuff up at the bins, because if I can stack a bunch of bins items and get $10+ profit, to me that's a good flip. So the next item is this JanSport backpack, Crosstown Plus black digital print laptop pocket school bag. So anyways, it was a perfect time because of course was back to school season. It was the perfect time to find it and get it listed. And I knew that I had sold some backpacks last year from I think it was last year. In the last couple of years, I always know that backpacks do really well right around the time back to school starts. So I went ahead and started looking for backpacks, but I hadn't really found any at a decent price other than a couple that I have picked up, and they both sold. So I was really happy about that. So this item I did pick up at the Goodwill bins on June 20th of this year. And I looked it over. It was really clean inside and out. It just had a few minor scuffs at the bottom. And so I picked it up, and my average cost was $2 per item that day. So I really didn't have like a high cost of good for this item. I posted it on July 12th on Poshmark and eBay, and it sold on July 27th on eBay for $23.99. And so I earned a profit of $17.25. And it's off to its new home to be enjoyed for the school year, I'm sure. And the next item is Victoria's Secret push-up bra, women's 38C, and I put animal print, blue, white, underwire, and lined. So this item was in okay condition. It wasn't like amazing condition. I did put pre-owned fair because it is a little bit worn, and you can definitely see wash wear and wear marks. But I thought that the pattern was super cute and the colorway and everything, and that somebody would still be able to kind of use this item anyways. You can see I disclosed all of this. Like there was a little bit of pilling, there was a tiny little hole here, but just overall wear. The hooks were all still good, like everything else was still good. And I went ahead and decided to pick it up because I was at the Goodwill store on June 21st this year, and it was one of the half-priced items. And since bras are already not priced very high, it was a very low cost of goods. I only paid $1.65, and so that's relatively what I would pay at the Goodwill bins, which is why I went ahead and picked it up. And then I posted it on July 25th to Poshmark, and I had posted it on July 24th on eBay. And that was this year, and it sold on eBay on July 28th. It sold in like 3 days, you guys, so, or 4 days. So it sold really quick, and it sold for $11.99. I did not price it higher because of the condition. And so it sold for $11.99, and I earned a quick flip profit of $7.81. And then the next item I probably should not have picked up, but I did. So this item I picked up at the Goodwill bins where they weigh by the pound, and it was pretty heavy. And then I'm pretty sure they charged me, because I went through, my husband came with me that day, and I went through and picked up some stuff in my cart. I hadn't been there for more than like 30, 45 minutes. And I didn't have like a ton of stuff, but my husband wanted to leave because he was going to go to like Home Depot and do some shopping there instead. So I went ahead and checked out of the stuff that I had already accumulated. And then I went back in and then did my own shopping on my own. And so I paid for this item basically on a separate ticket. So it wasn't on the bigger like lot of items. And I think at our location, they essentially charged for heavier items as like a different rate. It was very confusing. It wasn't like by the pound or anything. So I think I was actually charged around $8 or $9 for this item. However, because I just lump everything and do an average cost of goods, I took this as like, obviously not like a bunch of individual costs, but it's just one item. So I just divided it with all the other items and all the totals all together to kind of get my average cost. So that's what I did. I just averaged it in. So that brought my average cost of goods for this Brio set down to $2. That was the day that I went in June. So I picked this up. It was a whole like bag, and then it had all these pieces inside of it, and they were not in good condition. But I went ahead and put it on auction because I didn't know if I would get more people that would want it. There was like chew marks on some of the pieces, drawing, like white out. So it was not in the best condition. There was some cute little trucks and stuff that I don't think were all part of Brio. Like this one is Mattel, but it was like a really cute like 1970s toy that I thought was really fun. So anyways, and then there was some other like little wooden toys. So I went ahead and just like, it was all part of this bag. So I just posted it as an auction, and I don't normally auction anything. And I put it as $9.99 starting bid because I was trying to make sure I made back the $8 or whatever I had paid. Or at least like I wasn't going to be too low. And it ended up just getting one bid and selling. It didn't sell the first week because I did it as a 7-day listing. It did not sell the first week. It, I think, sold the second or third week that it got posted. So it just redid it for each week until it sold. But it sold within like a few weeks. Let me see. I put the numbers down. So I picked it up at the bins June 20th. My average cost was $2. I posted it July 14th on eBay only. And then it sold July 28th. So about 2 weeks. So I think it sold in the second cycle, basically. And it sold for $9.99, so I made a profit of $4.77. So it wasn't a very amazing flip. Now, Brio trains this stuff can do well. This was just in really bad condition. So I guess depending, but it is heavy. So that's the other factor to consider is the shipping costs. But yeah. So that's why, but I figured somebody out there would still want them. Even all the extra pieces, they could be attached to other sets to make the train sets larger. So I went ahead and picked it up, and it kept it out of a landfill. Okay, so the next item is Nike SB Heritage Volk shoes, men's 9.5, Summit white lace up, gum sole, green, and I put swoosh on here. These were in okay condition. Maybe somebody who knows how to clean up like a suede can do better than me, but I'm not like a big shoe cleaner person. I might get there someday, but I haven't got to that extent of reselling. Since I don't do it full time, I don't have like all the time in the world to do that kind of stuff. The most I usually do is like a magic eraser if it's got some scuffs to see if it'll come off, or like I'll clean off like the edges around this part of the sole, you know, like I'll try to clean up anything that I can easily clean up. I might throw stuff in the washing machine if it's a tennis shoe, that kind of thing, and let it dry, air dry, just to see if I can get it any cleaner than it already is. And then, yeah, so I thought they were cool. They kind of looked vintage, but they're not vintage. So this was just like, I think because it's the heritage, but it's not like a vintage. And there were people selling the same shoe that were much, much, much cleaner than mine. So this one did take a little while to sell. And I picked this up at Goodwill on June 21st. Nope, this is the wrong one. I somehow passed something. I'll go back. So I picked this up. In fact, I don't know where that one went. I'm going to have to look it up. So I was like, I must be missing a tab. So I picked this one up on, sorry, let me look this up again. I picked it up on May 25th of 24. So it was like over a year ago, and I paid $9.99. I posted it on June 3rd of 24 to Poshmark and eBay both. And it finally sold on Poshmark July 30th of 25 for $34. And I made a profit of $17.21. So I was really happy to see it finally go. And let me go back and find this one. This was on eBay. Okay, so let's go to eBay. I'll go to my sales. Let's see if it doesn't want to go to my sales. Okay, let's see. I must have not pulled the tab for this one. I thought I did, but I don't see it there. Here it is. Okay. I must have not because I didn't click on it. Okay, so this item is a Mexican halter dress, one size, white, colorful floral embroidery, and I put retro, boho, and beach on it just because it's so pretty. The colors on the top are just gorgeous. Like you can see all this beautiful colored embroidery. So, and then it also had this like kind of like a crochet lace looking section right below it, as like under the bust type situation. But this one's so cute. It also had that like, it's almost like I should have put like a baby doll style or something on there, but it was the halter top style. So, but yeah. And it had the handkerchief, like asymmetrical at the bottom with these like shiny ribbons to give it kind of accents. And then the type of material is almost like a hand towel for the kitchen, like the kitchen towels. So it was just, but it was really pretty. I saw it. I saw all the colorful embroidery and I was like, somebody is going to want this. It was unbranded, no brand, most likely sold in Mexico. They sell this kind of dresses a lot. Maybe not. It might have been sold at like, I don't know. I have no idea. But it did have this little tag that said Tala. So I think it just means like one size essentially. I picked this up at Goodwill on June 21st this year and I paid $6.59 and I posted it July 26th to Poshmark and eBay. It sold on eBay 2 days later on July 28th. So it was a very quick flip and it sold for $29.99. I made a profit of $17.88. And the gal, I'm going to share with you guys here, the gal sent this cute little like message about it, which was adorable. And she was like, I've been looking for this. So super cute. I love getting little messages like that because it just made her day that she was able to, that she was able to get that dress. So she must have been really on the lookout for it. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. Okay. So the next one is Twin Hill, and it's the Kylie short sleeve dress, 4R, and I put wool, corporate, uniform, airline, and black. This is one that the flight attendants generally will wear. So it is a very popular item that they pick up. And this item came from my daughter's closet. So when she was doing FCCLA, they picked her advisor had all the girls get this specific dress to look professional during their competition. She wanted them to all be identical, so that's what they did. They all had to get this particular dress. So this item I posted, so I had zero invested, but if I ever find it at a thrift store, if you find it at a thrift store, pick it up. It's called Twin Hill, and that's the brand. And I posted it on August 12th on Poshmark and eBay, and it sold on Poshmark July 30th for $32, and I earned a profit of $25.60. And the gal for this one actually messaged me too and said that she was looking for this exact item, that she's also, like, interestingly, a similar story, but she's a flight attendant. So she was really happy to find it. And then the next item is Dutch Bros hoodie, men's large windmill logo, and I put cream tan beige just because it's like kind of like that colorway. And I put kangaroo pocket. I kind of went off of, actually, I think somebody else's previous sold item, because I like to do is look at the comps, but then if theirs sold and the way they worded it sold for like a higher value than maybe somebody who worded it differently, then I'll try to word it similar, which I think helps. So that's a little tip you can use when you're looking up comps, and like if you do sell similar and then use their logo or their the title that they're using, that it makes it helpful, because if you can find one that sold for more than others, it might be the way they worded it. And so that's kind of one of the things I will do occasionally, although I am using more of an AI tool now, so it writes a lot of stuff for me, but I'm playing with it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. I'm thinking about switching for next month to Nifty. I know I've seen a lot of really positive comments about it, and the one that I started using, I wasn't really going to go into this, you guys. The one that I started using is Tech and Sports Better Lister AI. And I kind of mentioned that I was going to bring it up on a future video a while back. I like the tool, but I don't think it has all the features that, from what I've heard of Nifty, it's amazing. And for the amount that I'm spending monthly, I've only done 2 months now on Better Lister. This is the second month, and it's near the end of the month, and I haven't used all my credits yet. So I'm gonna crush through in the next week and get all the credits used up, and then as it gets near the end of the month, I think I'm going to go ahead and join Nifty, because I've heard so many good things about being able to cross post, and the fact that it will delete it off the other platforms. When the item sells on one platform, it'll delete it for you. I think that would be amazing. And the fact that it links up to a bunch of different platforms. The only other thing I'm not sure if it does is if it posts, like does all your sharing, like Lists Perfectly or Posh or VA. I currently use Posh or VA for my sharing settings, and I pay like what do I pay, like $27 a month, something like that. So if I go to Nifty, I will take my money off of Better Lister, which is like $50 a month right now for 100 listings. Well, you get 100 credits. So essentially it's 50 cents per listing, and then the AI tool just writes it all up, and you just put in the photos, add your SKU number, and then it will populate like the listing for you, and then you can tweak it however you want before you submit it. And I've been playing with it for a couple of months. I would say going from not using it to using it, I really like it. It doesn't work if you don't have brands. So if it's like an unbranded item, I can't really use it on there, and I still have to do it myself. And that's probably the same situation with Nifty, because my guess is the AI tool needs the brand in order to do all that. But I just feel like from what I've seen so many people talk about Nifty, that at this point, and a lot of the YouTubers I follow have been talking about it. So I think I'm at the point where I think I'm ready to go ahead and jump from Better Lister. I gave it a chance, and they said there's more like features coming, but the fact is they're still behind, and Nifty is there. So I think I'm going to just move over to Nifty, because I think it's a little more than I'm paying on Better Lister, but has way more features. So to me, it's worth it. If you know if they do the sharing on all the apps, like sharing on Poshmark, for instance, that's the main one is Poshmark. But if you know that they do all the sharing for you, let me know. And I think the other thing that will benefit me with moving to Nifty is I will reopen. I already have Depop, but I haven't made sales on there, like, as you guys can see, months and months. Like, I rarely get a sale. I have sold on Depop, but it's so rare. But I also don't consistently post on Depop. So I think it would help me with Depop sales. And then on top of it, I will rejoin Mercari. I quit Mercari when all that stuff went down like about a year ago. I had started to put stuff on Mercari, and then I pulled everything off because I just didn't want to deal with it. But I think with the option to cross post to all these apps, and it's going to be a lot easier to do that. And I think I'm going to open an Etsy shop because I like to pick up vintage items. I have a bunch of vintage clothing items in my closet, enough that I think it qualifies. I also have vintage stuff that I pick up that's hard goods. So I think I might open an Etsy shop for all the vintage stuff. So that way it will also cross post to Etsy. And then maybe I will make more sales because I'll have more apps that it's being posted to. So that's kind of like my mindset right now and where I'm going with my business, which was a long little splurge that I wasn't planning to go into, you guys. So sorry about that. But that's where I'm at. I think I'm going to try to get it started for September and then see how it goes during the rest of the year. Okay. So anyways, but yeah, if you know if they do the cross posting, or not the cross posting, if you know if they do all the sharing to like the parties and sharing your closet and all of that, on Poshmark, can you like let me know? That's the one thing I keep forgetting, like if they do that or not. So, okay. Moving back to the Dutch Bros hoodie. I don't remember how far I got on this. I think I got to the point where I was just talking about the title. That's what I was talking about. Okay, so this one I picked up at Goodwill on March 28th during that Goodwill grand opening, and I paid $6.59. I posted it on April 18th to Poshmark and eBay, and it sold on Poshmark July 31st for $30, and that earned me a profit of $17.41. And then I will say this one other thing about the Dutch Bros. So if you've been following me and you've heard me go on a tangent about Dutch Bros stuff in the past, I have said in the past that Dutch Bros is a good brand to pick up because they don't have like only the associates get the clothing items. However, Dutch Bros has done a lot more drops lately, and they are putting out like merch more often. So not all the time, like it's not, I think, but they did do another one recently. So they do have some items that you can purchase, but the bulk of the items you find were only available to the associates, and at least up until now. And so I think they are expanding into actual sales because they would make a lot more money if they were selling it on like a website. So that's what I think they're doing now. The next item is Democracy, and it's the Absolution shorts. And it was a women's 4, and I put stretch blue denim booty lift and distress. And I'm pretty sure I got the booty lift from somebody else's title, so I think I just used their title. And it was a size 4, so it was a little bit smaller. But this Absolution, this black panel, it's like a stretchy black panel if you're not familiar with it, does seem to be pretty popular, but not in everything. And I was not sure how the shorts would do, but I went ahead and picked them up anyways. And like there's a little like metal like logo right here on the back pocket. So yeah, I did pick them up anyways, and I picked it up at Goodwill on May 24th, and I paid $4.99. I posted it to Posh and eBay on my eyes are deceiving me. I posted it on June 30th. And it sold on July 31st. And it sold for $15. I went ahead and took the offer. She sent an offer, and I was like, please, because summer's coming to an end, and I would rather they get sold than sit there. So I did only earn a profit of $7.01, but I will take that for an end of the summer sale. The next item is Anthony Richards green skirt plus 3X Kelly Spring, and I put pleated, paisley, flowy, and stretchy. So I thought it was a really pretty skirt. I did find this at Goodwill as well. I remember that day. And as you can see, it's got kind of like the pleated crinkle look to it, which is really nice. And then Anthony Richards. I don't know if that means it's vintage. I know I've had Anthony Richards stuff before, I think, but I've seen his logo, and I just really thought the skirt was pretty, and it had this fun pattern. It was lined underneath, really well made, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, the waist was elastic, so it's just like a pull-on elastic great for plus size people like me. This skirt's too long. Like, it wouldn't be the length I would wear because I'm short and it would just look horrendous. But I really liked it. It was super pretty. And it would be great for like St. Patrick's Day even. So anyways, this item I picked up at Goodwill on February 17th this year. I paid $5.99 and I posted it on March 8th. So I did post it. I did pick it up thinking St. Patrick's Day was coming, and I thought somebody might want it for that, but it did not sell in time. So I posted it March 8th to Poshmark and eBay, and it sold on eBay July 31st, and it sold for $22.50. I did earn $12.39. And then the very last item, you guys, for the month is my daughter's FCCLA blazer. This is their competition blazers, and it has the patch down at the bottom down here. And they are required, if you go to an FCCLA conference, you will see hundreds of people wearing this blazer. So it is very popular. It is required during those big competitions. My daughter went to state twice, which was twice or three times. Wait, 2, 3. Actually, I think she went 3. Now I can't remember. I went with her to 1, but she went to San Diego. And then I went with her to Denver. And she did go to state. Not state. Nationals. Sorry, nationals, not state. So nationals, because we were in Texas, and she went to San Diego. I'm pretty sure it was her junior year, the year she joined. They went to San Diego. The second year we went to Denver, and I went with her to Denver. And then her last year, her senior year, they did go to nationals. It was in Seattle. And I did not go that one. So she went 3 times to nationals, surprisingly. I mean, not really surprisingly. She's amazing, and her friends, like, they did a great job. It was just really surprising. Like, we weren't expecting that. So, pretty cool. So this is just like a requirement. So if you ever see a red blazer that has this FCCLA patch, look it up, because you're probably going to sell it quickly. Especially right at the beginning of school when they're starting the school year. But then again, if somebody needs the blazer for nationals, it's not till the end of the school year. So really any time. And this item I didn't pay for, but they charge a good pretty penny for them brand new. I want to say close to 100. It might have been like 60 to 100, something like that. And I posted it July 30th on Poshmark and eBay. It sold the next day on eBay July 31st. And it sold for $33.24, and I made a profit of $27.20, or we earned back money that we probably paid out 3 years ago. She used this blazer for all 3 years. So anyways, that's it for the end of the sales, you guys. And now I can show you my totals, or tell you my totals. So out of the entire month of July, I had out of pocket invested, I mean, of course, this is for the items that sold, not necessarily that I didn't go buy other items, but for the items that sold in the month of July, I had a total investment cost of goods of $216.35. My total gross sales before all the fees and everything was $2,076. And then I have buyer's tax. I have fees. I paid platform fees of about $315. That's Poshmark and eBay taking their cuts, basically. And then shipping is just on eBay because Poshmark charges it and separates it out to the buyer only. But for the eBay shipping, I don't even know if I really need this in my totals, to be honest, but I do put it in there in case I ever have to go back for tax reasons or whatever. And then the last item on my column is my net profit for the month of July. And drum roll, please. I'm gonna put like little confettis and everything. You guys, I earned a profit of $1,191.26, and I have not hit $1,000 in profits yet. In fact, this is like, it's like my little like line has gone from like here, way up here in the last 2 months, which it's supposed to be summer slowdown. So I'm not really sure where the slowdown happened for me. because it's just getting better for me. I don't think this month of August is going to be that good. I'm just saying that because I really don't think so. I don't have a PlayStation to sell and like all this other stuff. However, I am getting better at picking my own items up when I go to the store and source, or go places and source. I am trying to pick stuff up that I know would be more profitable. So although I still pick up, you know, lesser profitable items that are going to sell for $5 to $10 or $15, but overall I think it just all like snowballed and accumulated. And a part of me kind of wonders if parts of my success this month had to do with Poshmark basically suspending all these sellers because they were deleting items from that whole situation that happened. If you're not familiar, most people that are sellers know about this, but if you're not a seller, Poshmark did several months back decide that if you post items and then you delete a bunch of items in like a couple, like if you're deleting a lot of items at once, they'll suspend you because they don't want you to delete it. So for the big sellers out there who are posting and selling a lot all the time, like if they sell 30 items on eBay in one day and they take 30 items off Poshmark, or whatever their trigger number was, all these sellers were being suspended. I didn't have that problem, but I don't post as much as all these people, and I'm not getting the sales like all these people, so it didn't affect me, luckily. But I kind of wonder if, because there were big sellers being suspended, if that means that, you know, other people were getting opportunities, if that makes sense. So I don't know, but I will take what I got, and I am really happy for a good month. I was really surprised when I got over the 1,000, and it kept going, and I'm almost at 1,200, and I was just like, holy cow. So yeah, so I was really excited about this month, you guys, and thank you so much for following me. If you have been a follower, thank you. I know this What Sold was a little bit longer, but I had a lot of like little stories to tell you, and thank you for being there and watching the whole video. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all on my next video.